Yeah, I think location is actually one of the biggest career decisions a physician makes, and it's often underestimated. I think most residents come out of training and they can be so focused on salary and practice type and not necessarily location, but location shapes everything. So it shapes your commute, your family life, your cost of living. These factors all kind of combine and compound over time. And so as you can imagine, once you settle into a practice, it's very difficult to unwind once you've signed that contract. So you want to land in a healthy environment right out of the gate when you come out of residency. Yeah, so Merit ranked the top US metros for physicians across five specialties. So we chose some large specialties: anesthesiology, emergency medicine, internal medicine, pediatrics, and radiology. And we really looked at six factors. We looked at compensation, malpractice insurance premiums, housing costs, commute times, family friendliness, and then health and fitness. And really, what we found was Minneapolis-St. Paul came out across the top, across the board for all five specialties. There was a couple cities that were a little bit surprising. I was kind of surprised to see Dallas, Fort Worth, and Portland rounded out the top three. Richmond, Virginia, I was shocked to see. That's my hometown. It's a surprise contender, definitely punching above its weight. It's got a great quality of life in Richmond, even despite the salaries being maybe a little bit depressed. And then Boston was up near the top in the top 10. Boston scored a little bit more poor for commute times, but otherwise did strong across some of the other categories. And really, we looked at this just to figure out and give physicians a little bit more complete picture of where they will come out when they choose some of these different metro areas. A lot of physicians are disappointed with medicine, and I think that burnout is a major factor. I mean, obviously, everyone's working longer hours. There's administrative burdens. There's feeling, there's this overwhelming feeling like the system is not working for us. And I think it's very easy to think if I can just move to another location, that some of these problems will go away. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I think the other thing that is going on is we've had a reset since COVID. I think, having practiced through COVID myself, I think that COVID really showed us the amount that clinicians give to medicine and give to their career. And I think people are rebalancing. So people are pulling back and saying, hey, what's in this for me? What's in this for me? How do I maintain myself? If the work is getting harder, the hours are getting longer, how do I maintain myself? And location becomes one of those variables that you can use to support yourself. What the lifestyle in the city? How easy is it? What kind of house can I afford? Those things kind of factor in because we're all fighting to maintain our careers, and I think that we want to do that in a healthy environment. Yeah, I think for residents, it's so easy to look at salary and total comp and maybe practice type and get enamored and go for the big bucks. But I think that you do have to factor in some of these things. Salary is the starting point. It's really not the ending point. It's just basically it's one piece of the puzzle. You have to look at housing costs compared to your salary. You want to look at commute times. You want to look at where you're going to live, what it's going to be like to raise a family there. Maybe what the schools are like if you already have a family. Um, so those are all things that we really do a good job of incorporating in the Merit job platform. So we have a new modern job platform for medicine, and we give the details of the job, we give the details of the employer, but we also really go hard into the details of the community. So we have lifestyle, we have schools, we have housing costs, and all of those things, just like you would find on Zillow. So you can see everything that you need to make the best decision for you. And so, yeah, so going back to it, salary is important, but the best contract and the best salary is never going to make up for a wrong location. we know how systems are recruiting for physicians, and everyone's trying to get to us. We all feel that when we get our text and we get these emails and text messages all day long. Um, Physicians want the full picture. They want it all. So they want compensation. They also want to be living in a great location. So there are certain metros that have a lot to offer. I mean, I think about Richmond, kind of a sleeper there, but it has a lot to offer in terms of schools, the medical community, the commutes, and all of that. And so those employers really need to lean into those factors. Now, there are some cities that don't have it. I think there's reasons where some rural, practices are struggling to recruit and retain, but they need to then compensate by looking at the variables that they can control. So they might have to offer more flexibility, higher compensation, more, relief from administrative burdens, or more support to make themselves competitive. So some have it all and have an abundance of riches and can probably recruit easily. Some don't, and they're going to have to look at other ways. Yeah, I mean, I think the key takeaways from this are every city has its strengths and weaknesses. I've been to Minneapolis-St. Paul. It is a great family. It is a great family town. Obviously, the weather is a little bit cold at times, but there is a lot to offer there. And same with the others on the top 10. All of them have their strengths. Everyone has some weaknesses as well. You have to look at the whole picture. And like I said before, compensation and salary is just one piece of the puzzle. You do have to look at all of the other aspects that are going to fulfill your life and make your life easier to sustain in medicine, which is just feels like it's getting harder and harder. So yeah, and one other plug for Richmond. I saw Richmond up there, and just a great town. It's a sleeper town. It's got a lot to offer. And there are other cities out there like that, but you have to dig into and find what works for you.